Hydrangeas are easy, low-maintenance plants, but if you're looking for the easiest hydrangea to take care of, in my opinion, you should plant Annabelle Hydrangeas. It's the perfect hydrangea for the lazy gardener. In this video, I'll go over why I think Annabelle Hydrangeas are the easiest hydrangeas to have in your garden, and tips on how to grow Annabelle Hydrangeas. Reasons why I love Annabelle Hydrangeas. Annabelle Hydrangeas are drought resistant. Annabelle Hydrangeas don't need to be watered daily. I have Annabelle Hydrangeas in the back part of my yard and my garden hose is not long enough to reach it, so I never water it. I'm too lazy to lug a watering can all the way to the back of my yard. But take a look at it. Every year, without fail, it grows back and flowers nicely. It's planted under a tree, so it's in partial shade, which I think helps it retain moisture. Plus, it's an established plant and have been at this location for over 10 years now. Every year, I'm always amazed at how it's just surviving on rainwater since I don't give it any supplemental watering. Do keep in mind I live in coastal Connecticut, but in the summer, we do get 90 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit summers, so it can get very hot here. If these Annabelle Hydrangeas were planted in a sunnier location, I wouldn't be able to get away with not watering it. I would have to water it at least once a week, otherwise it will wilt. I have some Annabelle Hydrangeas planted in a sunnier location, and come July and August, the leaves of these Annabelle Hydrangeas will droop and wilt, even with a once a week watering schedule. It's just not enough water. The good thing is, it's so easy to revive wilted Annabelle Hydrangeas. Just give it a good soaking and it will bounce back. So depending on where you live and where you plant your hydrangea, you will most likely have to water it at least once a week, which is perfect for the lazy gardener. Fertilize once a year. I love that Annabelle Hydrangeas are so low maintenance that all you need to do, aside from watering once a week, is to fertilize it once a year. But if you're too busy to even fertilize it once a year, no problem. Your Annabelle Hydrangea will still flower beautifully the following year. Trust me, I know. I skipped a few years of fertilizing the Annabelle Hydrangea in the back of my yard and it still flowers every year. Although, I think it will benefit from the once a year fertilizer and will probably be much more beautiful and healthier with fertilizer. You don't need to prune your Annabelle Hydrangeas. Pruning your Annabelle Hydrangeas is not necessary for them to produce beautiful flowers. I don't prune the Annabelle Hydrangeas at the back of my yard and it flowers beautifully every year. You don't need to worry about soil pH. Annabelle Hydrangeas have white flowers, unlike the bigleaf hydrangeas where you can manipulate the colors of the flowers based on the soil pH. Annabelle Hydrangeas is easy to care for because you don't need to worry about soil pH. The flowers are always going to be white. But do keep in mind, like all hydrangeas, Annabelle Hydrangeas do prefer to be planted in soil that is slightly acidic. Annabelle Hydrangeas are disease-free. Annabelle Hydrangeas are disease-free and they're rarely afflicted with pests and diseases. I've had Annabelle Hydrangeas for over a decade now and I've never encountered any issues. Deer resistant. From personal experience, Annabelle Hydrangeas are deer resistant. I get a lot of deer in my garden and I've never had any problems of deer eating my hydrangeas. In fact, the deer pretty much ignores it. Other garden critters like squirrels and rabbits also ignore my hydrangeas. Check out my video on deer and hydrangeas. I have a theory as to why they don't eat my hydrangeas. Plant in partial shade to full sun. I also like that Annabelle Hydrangeas can be planted in partial shade or full sun. It will thrive and grow nicely pretty much wherever you plant it. Although do keep in mind that if you plant your hydrangeas in full sun, you can't be a lazy gardener. You'll need to water it a few times a week to keep it from wilting. But if you plant your Annabelle Hydrangeas in partial shade, you can be lazy like me and not even water it at all, and it will flower beautifully. Of course, do know that this only works once your Annabelle Hydrangeas are established. Newly planted hydrangeas will need to be watered a few times a week. You can't just leave it alone. It will die. But once your Annabelle Hydrangeas are established, you can be as lazy as you want. The best place to plant Annabelle Hydrangeas is in a spot that is in partial shade. Similar to this spot in my backyard, it gets a few hours of morning sun and is pretty much protected from the intense afternoon sun. And it's in partial shade, protected by the tree canopies. If you want to be lazy and do minimal work, yet still have beautiful hydrangeas that flower year after year, then find a partial shade spot similar to this in your garden for your Annabelle Hydrangeas. No need to stake Annabelle Hydrangeas. I like that Annabelle Hydrangea stems are sturdy and strong. The stems can support the big, heavy hydrangea flowers. It doesn't get floppy at all, like peonies. so you don't need to deal with staking to add support to your Annabelle Hydrangeas. Even after rain, I find that the Annabelle Hydrangeas will hold up. The stems are sturdy enough so that the flowers does not topple over. Perfect for the lazy gardener. Long blooming season. Annabelle Hydrangeas have a long blooming season. It is one of the first hydrangeas to bloom in the summer. It starts blooming in late June through September. The flowers last several weeks. You will have flowers all summer long. It makes me want to start a project of planting a row of Annabelle Hydrangeas next to this hydrangea in my backyard. Imagine a row of Annabelle Hydrangeas here. So beautiful. And the best part is, I don't really need to water it once the hydrangeas are established. It can survive harsh winters and hot summers. Annabelle Hydrangeas are hardy. It can survive USDA hardiness zones 3 to 9. That means it can survive the cold, harsh winters of the Northeast and the warm climate of the South. Here in Connecticut, we have had many sub-zero winters, and my Annabelle Hydrangeas survived it. It can live through harsh winters with no special protection. And in the summer, Annabelle Hydrangeas can survive heat waves and droughts. But of course, during the hot summer, you can't be lazy. You need to water your hydrangeas a few times a week or every day if it's really hot. If you don't water it enough, you'll start to see the leaves droop and wilt. The good thing about Annabelle Hydrangeas is it's easy to revive wilted plants. Just water it well and it will bounce back. Why I think it's easier to grow Annabelle Hydrangeas versus bigleaf hydrangeas. More flowers. Based on my observation, you'll get more flowers with your Annabelle Hydrangeas versus bigleaf hydrangeas. First of all, Annabelle Hydrangeas will bloom a few weeks earlier than your bigleaf hydrangeas. For example, it's the first week of July now. My Annabelle Hydrangeas have flowered while my bigleaf hydrangeas still look like this. And once it blooms, I find that Annabelle Hydrangeas will produce more flowers when compared to bigleaf hydrangeas. It's just a more productive plant. So if you want hydrangeas with lots of flowers, then get yourself an Annabelle Hydrangea. Annabelle Hydrangeas seem more resilient versus bigleaf hydrangeas. From personal experience, Annabelle Hydrangeas are more resilient when compared to bigleaf hydrangeas. It's so much easier to grow Annabelle Hydrangeas. With Annabelle Hydrangeas, you really can just leave it alone and it will flower nicely year after year. The difference between being a lazy gardener versus not lazy gardener. When it comes to Annabelle Hydrangeas, it's okay to be a lazy gardener. For Annabelle Hydrangeas planted in a partial shade location, even if you don't water your Annabelle Hydrangeas, it will flower and thrive. But I don't recommend totally ignoring your Annabelle Hydrangea and not watering at all. I suggest watering it at least once a week. If there's a heat wave, drought, or if you live in a place where it's warm, then you should water it more than once a week. Based on my personal experience, Annabelle Hydrangeas that are watered at least once a week will look healthier, more robust, and have more flowers. For example, here are two Annabelle Hydrangea plants. The plant on the left is the hydrangea that is the plant that I don't water at all, while the plant on the right is the hydrangea that is watered once a week. See the difference? There are more flowers when you water your hydrangea at least once a week. So my suggestion is, you can be a lazy gardener, but don't be too lazy. Check out my other hydrangea videos. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.